the reason. And then when we went to messy ass spaces with the JB TV folk, me and Joe was on there on Sunday, and
Told you, got put something in that contract.
they raised the issue.
Well, no, Mark knows how to space.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
What's good, people? It's your boy The Kitchen. Now, what you just heard there was Mark Lamont Hill damn near confirmed that Melyssa Ford is not on the show this week for the following reasons. Now, if you guys don't know, on Twitter, every week the JBTV community would hold a weekly space where they talk about a lot of subjects. Things that have gone on that week in culture or just stuff online that they see. But all in all, they talk about the JBP episodes that come out and what goes on during those episodes and how they feel about each co-host and ultimately about the show altogether. And as they're going through different subjects that were discussed on the pod, they then land on the Tracee Ellis Ross conversation about how she doesn't necessarily date men her age and she's into guys that are younger because they're more open-minded when it comes to different things that she would like to explore within her relationships. Now, as the fans of the JBP would talk about Melyssa and just the rest of the co-host handling that subject, a lot of people did feel like Melyssa Ford didn't do it justice the way that she should have. And they talked about this for a while, so much so that Joe had to come out of the anonymous listeners section of that space and actually say something. And Joe did actually go on to semi-dogpile her because he obviously thought that she wasn't in the room. So he would say, yo, myself and the co-host, we tried to throw it. We threw an alley-oop to Melyssa. She didn't want to take it. We thought that she would be perfect for this subject, not only because she talks about dating in her 40s a lot, but I also imagine that they both have dealt with the same, well, I wouldn't say same man, but the same type of men that Tracee Ellis Ross went on to bash. Now, Tracee Ellis Ross and Melyssa Ford, their age difference isn't a lot, so I'm sure they've been through the same type of obstacles and challenges in life, being that they're in the same industry and things of that nature. But let me get to the point here. So as Joe was bashing Melyssa on Spaces, Melyssa then pops up and she grabs a mic and then she goes off. She starts to talk about how, well, let me just show you the clip.
That is an excellent suggestion. Sure. Next, I will
You
definitely.
mean the very suggestion I made at the start of all of this when I said, Mel, if you have something to say on this, please lead the way. If not, we will skip it. He just said the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Okay. My point was that
And
it
you
seemed like
are
the guys.
and you are rather passionate about this. One. Two, it sounded like she was saying some things that you could identify with. So pardon us for looking to you to say, hey, your time to shine here, and if not, we'll just keep it pushing. Like how we being made into the villains because
I'm
of
not
that?
making. I'm not making
You
you into
saying
the
a lot of shit
villains.
that sound real villainous. You are. I've
I'm
been
not
letting it
making
cook,
y'all
and they
into.
not going to tell you that. But we shouldn't be looked at as the bad people for like. All right, Tracee Ellis Ross is not our bag. We don't have any problem with listening. We could listen. You're
Okay.
right. There was some other ways to handle that. I don't think that any of the men in the room should have led that. I
I
don't think that's
literally.
putting anybody in the best position to
I
win.
literally just said that the guys seemed to have things that they wanted to say and expound on the conversation and questions that they wanted to ask.
I
They
know you
seemed.
said that, but I'm saying something too. I know you said that, but in that room, it's my judgment call to make.
Mhm.
So I'm not asking you to gauge the interest of the other men. I'm asking you, do you want to leave this or not?
Now, as you guys heard there, that was quite a heated back and forth, especially in front of the JBP fans. Because honestly, while this is entertaining and funny, I kind of feel like this is a conversation that needs to happen behind closed doors. This shouldn't be something that happens in front of the fans. But then again, Joe likes mess. He loves this shit. He comes from it. He's a love and hip hop baby. This is his thing. And he's said this many of times. He said this on his podcast. He's said this on Spaces. He's actually said that he would love to turn this whole JBN network thing into a whole reality show. Which I can't lie, I laughed off at first, but as incidences like this keep coming up, I start thinking to myself, is Joe serious? Maybe he wasn't joking here. But after this argument, let me get back on track. After this argument, Melyssa Ford doesn't come back to work. Yes, people, she doesn't come back to work. And keep in mind, Melyssa Ford tries very, very hard to keep her image clean. She doesn't get into mess. She's very, old school in that sense. So it takes a lot for her to come onto these spaces and be her true, authentic self. But it just seems like the damage has been done, especially when it comes to female fans, because one or two female fans actually had to say something to Melyssa Ford when it comes to her being silent and not speaking up for women's issues enough on the podcast. Now, if you guys didn't hear this, this is kind of juicy. Here it is.
I don't think you did the conversation of justice at all.
That's fair. That's fair. You can think that.
I
You can
just need to know,
absolutely think that. But go
well,
ahead.
sorry, Mel. I just need to know, Paris, are you one of those people that feel like Mel is up there to represent women?
No.
Not at all. Absolutely not.
So your premise of your
get
opinion
another
was
woman
about
up
how
there.
she was representing women, though.
But because that's male stance, that's not something I say.
No, it's
She
not.
said
It is not my
that
stance.
was
It is. I
male.
have said that
Okay.
so many times. I am
Okay.
not up here to represent every woman because I fucking can't. I
Okay.
cannot tell you how many times I have said that. Please, can I get a motherfucking amen from
Amen.
the fucking congregation?
Amen.
Y'all have heard me
Okay.
say I cannot represent all women up here. Cause I
Okay.
can't.
Yeah.
That's
There is certain
perfectly
women that do
fine.
certain things where I'm like, I don't know why that bitch did that.
So
Cause
to
I
answer the
wouldn't.
question, that's perfectly fine. In that particular conversation, you referenced as a woman from lived experiences, as women, we experience. When you say things like that, you may not actually be trying to, which again, like I said, from the victim standpoint, you may not be trying to. That's the way it comes across. And maybe we just should be more, cognitive of how the conversation is
Maybe
coming
that's the
across.
way you're hearing it, but when I'm saying
That's the way
as
it's
a
being
woman,
said because you
I'm
that.
speaking as a biological
Come
woman.
on.
I am speaking as a woman,
Right.
not as the representative of every single human that has a vagina. I'm not speaking like that. I'm speaking as a cisgendered biological woman who lives her life as a
Hmm.
woman. That's where I'm speaking from. And
Right.
that's
And
why I
all I'm
referenced
saying
the
is if
lived
you see the
experience.
feedback, then
Now, I'm not gonna lie, it feels like Melyssa has a lot on her plate right now. She's been criticized by the fans, she's been criticized by Joe. He nitpicks any little thing she does. The co-hosts get onto her as well. It seems like she can't do anything right. She can't win for losing. And it kind of gets to her. I know it gets to her. It damn near shows on a weekly basis. It just seems like she doesn't want to be at that pod anymore. It seems like she's tired of Joe and his shenanigans. She's tired of the fans nitpicking at every little thing she does. I feel like she's just there for the check. Now, I could be 100% wrong. I'm open to being wrong. Maybe I am delusional here. What do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like Melyssa has had enough of the JBN network and that she just wants to leave? Or do you guys feel like this is just something every co-host goes through and she just has to fight through it and just become a better podder? Because I can't lie, Mark is killing shit. And he's also admitted that he watches the game tapes and he wants to know, and he wants to, all in all, become a better podcaster because it's just a better listening experience. And I feel like the rest of the cast don't do that. I just feel like they're there for the check. I do think they did care in the beginning though, but as time goes on, it's like an ordinary job. Once you're employed, you do everything out the woodwork, you do everything plus more, just to impress your manager. But as time goes on, you see the manager day after day, the hours seem to feel longer and longer. You even start to dislike your co-workers. You don't like your manager telling you what to do, so you stay stagnant. All you try to do as little as possible because you don't care about that job. You're just trying to get your check and bounce. But maybe I'm delusional here. Like I said, let me know how you guys feel in the comments. Until next time, it's your boy The Kitchen. Deuces.